Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Satara Parikacharya's Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Mathura Dham ki jai, Shri Gangamai ki jai, Shri Jamuna Mai ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Sri Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 60, Text 40. Jadyam vakastava grajayastu bhupam. Vidravya sangarana ninedina jar. Vidravya saranga ninedina jahartamam tvam. Simoyata swabalimisha pashun swabhagam. Tebyo bayadyarudelim sharanam prapana. Jadyam vachastava gadagrajayastu bhupam. Vidravya shranga ninadena jahartamam tvam. Simoyata swabalimisha pashun swabhagam. Tebyo bayadyarudadim saranam prapana. Jadyam vachastava gadagrajayastu bhupam. Vidravya shangar ninadena jahartamam tvam. Simoyata swabalimisha pashun swabhagam. Tebyo bayadyarudadim sharanam prapana. Jadyavachastava gadagrajayastu bhupam. Vidravya shanga ninadena jahartamam tvam. Simoyata swabalimisha pasun swabhagam. Tebyo bayadyarudadim sharanam prapana. Jadyam vachastava gadagrajayastu bhupam. Simoyata swabalimisha pasun swabhagam. Tebyo Bayadya Rudadim Sharanam Prapana. Jajam Dajasta Upam Vidravya Sharnka Ninadena Jahartamam Tvam Simo Yata Swabalimishas Pasun Swabhagam Tebyo Bayadya Rudadim Sharanam Prabhana Yadya Vachasta Vakara Grajayasta Dupa Vidrav Sharangara Nidadena Chahartavara Simo Yata Swabalimisha Pashun Swabhagam Debyo Bhagaya Rudadim Sharanam Prapana Chadyam Vachasta Vakrara Grajayatupam Chadyam, foolishness. Vacha, words. Tava, your. Gadagraj, oh Gadagraj. Ya, who. Tu, even. Bhupan, the kings. Vidravya, driving away. Sharanga, of Sharanga, your bow. Ninadena, by the resounding. Jaharta, took away. Mam, me. Tvam, you. Simha, a lion. Yata, as. Swa, your own. Balim, tribute. Isha, O Lord. Pashun, animals. Swabhagam, his own share. Tebya, of them. Bayat, out of fear. Yat, that. Udhadim, of the ocean. Sharanam Prapana, took shelter. Translation, my Lord, as a lion drives away lesser animals to claim his proper tribute, you drove off the assembled kings with the resounding twang of your Sharanga bow and then claimed me, your fair share. Thus, it is sheer foolishness, my dear Gadagraja, for you to say you took shelter in the ocean out of fear of those kings. Please repeat, my Lord, as a lion drives away lesser animals to claim his proper tribute, You drove off the assembled kings with the resounding twang of your sharanga bow, and then claimed me your fair share. Thus, it is sheer foolishness, my dear Gadagraja, for you to say you took shelter in the ocean out of fear of those kings. Purport by the servants of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. In text 12 of this chapter, Lord Krishna said, Rajabhyo bibayata subri samudram sharanam gatam. Terrified of those kings, we went to the ocean for shelter. According to the Acharyas, Lord Krishna finally provoked Rukmini's anger by glorifying other men who might have been her husband, and thus in an agitated mood, she here tells him that she is not ignorant, but rather that he has spoken foolishly. She states, like a lion you abducted me in the presence of those kings and drove them away with your sharanga bow, so it is simply foolishness to say that out of fear of those same kings you went to the ocean. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, as Queen Rukmini spoke these words, she frowned and cast angry, sidelong glances. Om Jnanatinamandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unanitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasaya Putale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunnivari Pashyata Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasaya Putale Srimati Vir Krishna Das Gosaminiti Namine Namaham Sanikashaya Prabhupada Prayate Sudrida Sudi Nisyambam Tasha Bhakti Nivarine. I'm going to read the purports of the Acharyas. First, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Then suddenly she began to manifest the sthai bhava of man, anger. Having already hinted at his ignorance of her knowledge and foresight, becoming more angry because of his descriptions of the good qualities of the other kings, she clearly indicates his ignorance while showing sidelong glances and moving eyebrows. Your words are foolish. Since you defeated the other kings and took me away as your prize, when you say that you took shelter of the ocean out of fear of them, it shows your foolishness. But earlier you said that it was true that I took shelter of the ocean out of fear. True, that was my foolishness to say that. That's a little mini conversation with Krishna and Rukmini. And Jiva Goswami states, the suffix ya in Jadyam denotes quality and work. Yadyam acts in opposition to the noun vacha. Thus, as a quality, it indicates complete lifelessness of his words, and his words produce this effect. The word too indicates opposition to Krishna's statement. You took me because I was your share, swabhagam. O Gadagraj, even your younger brother Gada all alone was capable of driving them off. You are even more capable since you are endowed with unlimited powers, Isha. And Sanatana Goswami writes, similarly, two indicates that the event is contrary to perception. You stole me because I belong to you, swabhagam. Otherwise, you would lose your fame. This description is given at the end, out of embarrassment. O Gadagraj, even your younger brother Gada all alone was capable of driving them off. You are even more capable since you are endowed with unlimited powers. So finally, we can see that Krishna's desire to provoke Rukmini is finally come to pass, because Rukmini was basically fed up. She was fried because he was talking such nonsense. I mean, it's actually quite, she's a little bit serious, and it's quite an outlandish and absurd claim that Krishna went to take shelter in the ocean for fear of kings, right? So she rebuked him. She's rebuking him here. And a few little parts of this that were interesting. The analogy of the lion taking the jackal's trying to take what was meant for the lion. You know, she had said that earlier when he was taking her away, rescuing her from that fate. And so she talks about the lion driving away lesser animals to claim his fair share, and also with the Sharanga bow, and then calls him Gadagraj, which is an interesting name. We don't hear it that much, and I was kind of trying to dig a little bit into what that name actually means, because we know that whether it's the gopis or Rukmini or different personalities throughout the Bhagavatam, they call upon Krishna, or even our Sri Arjuna, and the Bhagavad Gita is very famous for calling him by different names throughout. And those names indicate kind of, it's sort of implying a context to what the speaker is talking about or trying to denote, you know. So in this instance, when she calls him Gadagraj, which wasn't the first time, and we hear Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, well, actually more Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, because of being the elder brother of Gada. And incidentally, Gada is the son of the co-wife of Vasudeva. That's actually Devaki's sister's son. So he's considered the elder brother of that. But he's referred to that in this, from what the acharyas say. But more names of Gadagraj, which actually appears even in the Vishnu Mahashranam, you know, all of the Vishnu's names, gives several sort of meanings, I guess. And one is considering his weaponry, you know, his sort of power, his expert way of defeating opponents. So Gadagraj could mean that. Also, because actually Gada is the mace. Gada is the symbol of the mace. So Gadagraj is basically user and wielder and, you know, destroyer with the weaponry, you know, sort of thing. And also, Gadagraj also means, according to the Vishnu Sahasranam, that he's the sort of the initiator of sound. So, like his, you know, he's the creator of sound, actually. So that was kind of maybe a side, but the sound with the Sharanga bow is what actually drove away the kings, apart from the fact that it was Krishna himself that had come. So she's using this name very sort of prudently, because particularly as an elder brother, you know, elder brothers are generally thought to be wise, you know, the younger brother must listen to them, and, you know, he's very mature. And for Krishna, you know, I'm going to say Rukmini, who, you know, has been hearing all these, I mean, honestly, the whole dialogue is kind of, it's pretty outrageous that Krishna is speaking like this to Rukmini. I mean, you know, and she's just standing there and she's sort of taking it all in. But here's at this point when it just tore it, you know, she was going to rebuke him harshly, and calling him, you know, Gadagraj was part of that, you know, that he's the older brother. He shouldn't be speaking like this, you know, he should know better. He's mature, he knows, you know, he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and she's not buying any of it, you know. So she starts to display that man, and we'll hear a little bit more about that, but just the fact that she began, you know, shooting him sidelong glances, or it's called cutting eyes, and just sort of saying these things, I'm sure was a harsh rebuke for Krishna, who, you know, wanted that, but also, imagining that since he did want that response, he wanted that kind of anger, and she had the face, she had the eyebrows. I hear a lot when Radharani displays her man, she knits her brows, so she's got that sort of knitted brow face where the brows come together, and kind of looks at him like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And we can all relate, because sometimes, sometimes things sound quite outrageous or outlandish or absurd, and it's hard to understand why this is being said or what this even means for you, because, especially if you know for sure, and Rukmini absolutely knows for sure that that's not true, then it's hard to accept. It's hard to accept that kind of those statements, particularly from Krishna, who is her worshipful Lord, and she's in full, prema, right? As we've heard over time, he's the cynosure of her eyes. There's no way that he can do any wrong. So it's kind of interesting that, he just pushed it right to the edge. This is Krishna's way, to provoke or to get a result, to bring the point right to the precipice, and to see also how his devotees or his persons that are in this reciprocal relationship with him, how they respond to those sort of stimulus or those actions, and we see that on a day-to-day basis. Krishna knows what our buttons are. He knows how much we can take. I've heard many times over the years, Krishna is only going to give you as much as you can stand, as much purification as you can stand. And I've personally found that to be true, because the moment that it just feels like, okay, I'm giving up, just take me away, like just end it now, I'm done. He lets up the pressure, he'll let up the pressure. He'll actually change the channel and enable us to kind of mend or contemplate from that particular instance. So that happens quite often in our daily lives as practitioners of Bhakti Yoga. Those that aren't devotees, when they are pushed and pushed and pushed, that's not really, it's Krishna in a roundabout way, but they don't have the good sense to understand that it's for a reason, that Krishna is pushing something for a reason, and, why is this happening to me? Or placing responsibility on others for what's happened to them. And instead of just seeing firmly that, Krishna is the supreme controller, he's all the things. He doesn't, not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. And so in that way, Krishna is able to press those points where perhaps maybe there's some pride, or maybe there's some things that still need to be fleshed out. In this case, he is pushing the point with Rukmini just for his own pleasure. He wanted to see the beautiful face of moon-like Rukmini getting angry with him, because it's a new phenomenon. He sees Radha becoming very angry with him quite often, and it's easy to provoke her. It's very easy. She's easily provoked a lot of times, because that's their relationship. But for Rukmini, aka Chandravali, that's a very, very different exchange. And it seems like those are the kinds of exchanges that tend to happen surprisingly and more often, because it's those exchanges, and I'm just speaking for myself, that help to grow. You grow with introspection, you contemplation, and all of those things. Helps us to grow in our spiritual life and to come, ultimately come closer to Krishna, right? Because when you're a little bit upset at something that maybe has happened, that at some point you realize, wow, okay, I had no control over this, really. This was Krishna's arrangement, and how can we really be upset at Krishna? I mean, it's hard to do. I mean, Rukmini is, because that's their pastime. This is what's happening right now. But you can't, if you think about Krishna as our well-wisher, our best friend, our pranadana, we can't really get very upset with Krishna. Although I have heard that happens. I've actually heard devotees say, Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Why Krishna, why are you letting this happen to me? And I feel like that's really dangerous, because if we're trusting full faith and relying on Krishna as our sole maintainer and provider, can't really play blame games, especially for us in this material world, when there's so many factors, including our own mind, our own bodies, all of our stuff. We can't really play that game with Krishna. That why are you doing this? What did I do wrong? I've done everything right. What did I do wrong? Because that's really a denial of responsibility. And I also enjoyed how Rukmini, she uses this analogy of the lion taking his share and rebukes him by, calling him Gadagraj, presumably because, if your younger brother could have taken me away, then, of course, you can, as the elder brother. But, she does drive the point home about his words being foolish, and she has the power to do that because, ultimately it's Srimati Radharani, and sometimes when someone's a real rascal in that way, like, you come across, say, a person and they're just acting out of foolish impetuousness, they're not really taking into account the whole situation very seriously. It tends to be a little bit, it makes you weary. It's a little bit, you just want to, you want to put them in their place, which is what Rukmini's doing here, very firmly putting Krishna in his place, which is kind of refreshing in a way. I mean, not that, Krishna's, Krishna is the controller and he's doing that for loving purposes, but, for Rukmini to sort of call him out and, make him understand that, this isn't really proper, this isn't appropriate, because she had to step out of her normal mood, which is also a way he was pushing her out of her comfort zone, right? Pushing her out of what she would usually, how she usually would have reacted, how she usually acts on a regular basis, So, in the same way, we can understand that that's what he does to us, He does these things and pushes us out of our comfort zone, and he's seeing how we'll react. Of course, we're not going to speak about Krishna being foolish, because that's not our that's not our position, and it's not true. But Rukmini has the wherewithal to do that, and in this particular instance, it's kind of painful hearing Krishna speak like this to Rukmini, throughout this whole pastime, because just imagining how she felt, she probably was just she was getting ready to leave her body at some point. She was giving up her life airs. She couldn't believe that this was happening. She was just, becoming more and more and more lifeless and pale. And but again, when we hear about the Shikshastikam, the very last verse, "Oh my Lord, you may crush me by your embrace or leave me brokenhearted by not being present before me. You are completely free to do everything and anything, for you are my worshipful Lord unconditionally." So, that's our mood. I mean, we have to take these things from Krishna, and that will only help us to grow and to understand our position as the servants of Krishna a little bit more, little by little. And it'll happen again and again and again. Like, Queen Kunti, may all these calamities, this adversity, this strife, so many things, may it happen again and again and again. So I may keep remembering you, may I always remember you. So we have a few minutes if anybody would like to say anything.
Rukmini from Chandravali's camp or Radha's? Oh.
And it's interesting because although Gadagraja definitely refers to his brother Gada, it also means king of the club. And it could be a sarcastic remark that way too, like, "Oh, king of the club? Yeah, like, you're so big and powerful, and you're saying you're going into the ocean? Well, that's not a fact." So, either way, you can see it that way. Of course, the acharyas say it's referring to the brother, but Sanskrit's one of those, sarcastic, like, what kind of king of the club are you?
I was thinking about what he said, and the way she was calling him on his foolishness must have been very pleasurable for Krishna. I mean, they were playing, it was fun,
Yeah, and that kind of, I took that too as being a little bit sarcastic with calling him, because earlier she did speak to him. I think it's 10:52:40, and talks about instead of the son of Damagosh taking her away, she was praying to Gadagraj to take her away. So that was a little bit back, but she already had that name sort of there that she was speaking to him, calling him by. But yeah, I took that as a little bit of, he's the weaponry expert, he's the wielder of the mace, of course he's going to have his way, he's going to take her away. So, anyone else? No? Okay. It's almost time to greet the deities. All glories to the pastimes of Krishna and Rukmini. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Glories to Sri Sri Radhika Lokananda Ki Jai.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Marhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalet Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminichi Namande Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacha Negi. Careful when you're walking there. You almost hit my mouth. Divasesha Shunyavare Pasya Chagade Saturday. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadada Siva Sari Gaura Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ramanityananda Advaita Radha Shiva Sade Dharmata Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Shiva Sade Dharmata Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krati Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krati Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Ganana Anna Guru Ganana Rate. Lokanana, Anna, Golokanana, Rate. Nayat Rate, Nane, Nane, Darate. Hey, Nane, Rane, Narate, Rate, Jai, oh.
Let us all pray for Mother Krishna Priya and Mother Prafula Mukhi. Both of them have fallen, and they're both in the hospital now. So it's also, let's all be careful to walk carefully, because there's a danger at every step in this material world, especially when you're older. So just be careful. And also, Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow, 4 to 6. It's going to be a really nice day. Please come out in Chapel Hill. Haribo. Chaitadarpanam marjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrisham. Nice, thank you so much. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadishakamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Bhatitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kribayata Vabada Bhankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gururidaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahaneva Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishava Badamritam Banastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lambato Mat Prananatastusa Evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree. Thank you. That's a false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Oh, Almighty Lord, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causes, devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name. When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.